everybody, welcome back to X-STRUCTION. Today in a video I will show you how to build a ladder rack for the back of my Ram, and we will install the ladder rack, and then in the end of the video be sure to keep watching because I'm going to install a salt spreader on my truck and the snow plow Western MVP we built in a video too. So I hope you will enjoy this video and continue watching because in the end we have extras. Thank you so much. Okay, so today what you're going to need: paper, two types of tape, packaging and scotch. You don't need to use both. Replacement tape, two types of scissors. Also don't need to use both if you don't want to. Whiteout and a permanent marker. Whiteout is just for if you mess up on writing something with a permanent marker, you can white it out. But if you don't have whiteout, you can either keep your mistake or use a piece of paper to cover it up by cutting the size you need. And you don't need it, but vehicle model, just to understand where exactly the parts are going to have to be installed. Alright, let's get building. So, ladder racks go back here over the truck and usually look like this. So it's going to get installed here and here and go up and a little over the roof. And you're going to be able to easily slide something on top of it if you want to. And also we are going to build a toolbox too, but we're going to start with the ladder rack. So grab about 4 or 5 pieces of paper and evenly put them and roll them up in as thin of a roll as you possibly can. Alright, so that's as thin. That should work. That's as thin as I can right now be able to get it. So it's going to go like this, right over, and then a little bit higher, and it will be able to connect. So to do that part, we're just going to need to fold a paper in thirds. I didn't do perfect thirds, but I'll just cut this piece off with scissors. Okay, there. Now, from here, you will want to roll it over the end. And I don't need all that extra stuff, so I'm just going to cut that right off. I'm going to use tape to tape this new piece on. Like I said in my introduction video, I've been doing this for years, since I was 8 or 9, and I am now 13 and putting these on. So I've had a lot of practice, but I've only put a ladder rack on one of my other vehicles, and I think I was 10 when I did it. So it's been a while since I put a ladder rack on. Okay, that looks good, but you might want to have it more wide toward the bottom. The more wide piece should go toward the bottom if you want more stabilization. And now, how many papers are going to take? Okay, so about so let's just go with 1.5 papers. Okay, so that should be it. If I put these two here together, it should go, yes, that should be about it. Okay, so that means that if I roll these up, they will stay in their length. There. So this is how it should look on your truck or van, whatever you're making it on. But if you're making it on a van, it should be parallel along the roof. But it should look like this. And I just need a piece of tape to put it exactly like that. There. Okay, now I'm going to tape the rest of it together so that it stays like that. Okay, so that was a little mislined up. I did not line it up properly earlier. So, here, there. So, it looks somewhat like this. I think that actually looks really good. So, we're not going to install it yet, but now we need to find the measurement of how long it takes from the back of the truck. So let me just turn the truck. They're pretty light, a little, just heavy enough for a 2 to 4 year old not to be able to push it. So it can go, yes. So now we need to figure out if it's going to look like that. Now we will have to understand how many papers it's going to take to get it to work across here. So I'm just going to measure by paper. Now I'm using 8.5 by 11-inch sheets of paper. So your paper measurements might not be the same as mine, but I'm not using giant papers. I'm just using simple, regular business size papers, like document papers. Okay, so let's put it about this long. Okay, so my length is like this. So now you're just going to tape those papers better, and then you're going to roll them up too. So I'm just going to put this up here so it stays out of my way. And I'll just put it in the back of the truck. Okay, so now I'm going to continue rolling everything. Whew. Alright. Now, if I line these up, like that, and this is about the right length. So that's what you're going to want to focus on. I kind of want this to stay more straight. Yeah, more like this. More straight than it's staying at least. Okay. Now, I'm going to want to add the back on to here. So you're going to want to add the back to here. Okay, so now when you have it installed, it will look somewhat like this. Alright, so now what I'm going to need is to make another one of these. So that was really simple. So I can just, instead of making a wider end this time, I know the measurement that I need because I have the piece. So I will just line up 2 papers with it. And this here is the exact measurement I got. I'm going to roll it up like I did before. Though, just so that it looks nice, I'm going to let one side get enlarged. There. It's a little bit wider. And then it looks nice. I just like when things look nice. And there. So that looks really nice. That will be added onto it. But not yet. So that means that now I need to line it up with my other piece. There. Okay, so that's going to be lined up. Now it is fine if where the two papers meet, it gets a little wrinkly, because that's just how some papers are when they fold around tape. Especially my paper, so mine's even getting a little wrinkly, so don't get worried if that happens. And now to continue, we have the two pieces, and are going to add them on so that you can see. I'm going to put it right here, and you got to make sure that you know where your piece is, so I can see my shorter and longer. So I need the shorter and the longer to be nicely lined up. So first I'm going to put the shorter and the longer together. Okay, so now to install, which I gotta make sure that my measurements are right, and if they're not, I need to cut it and trim it, and you should make sure that you do this too, because if it's not, your vehicle might not work exactly how you want it to. So I am going to have to, just so that it holds, tape this piece down right here, even though I'm not ready yet, just so that it holds. This is what you have to do sometimes, because mine does not want to stay. There's one side. Alright, now that I have that, I need to nicely get it lined. Before I do that, and I'll cut it. Okay, so now those parts of the ladder rack are done. So we can release the tape on them. And then, there. Okay, so tape is released. Everything has to be nicely lined up, or else it will not work properly, as I'm saying over and over and over. Sorry if I'm annoying you by saying that. And it's lined up nicely. I just had to put some extra pieces of tape on. Okay. So now I have to trim some things, even though I thought that they were the right lengths. I made them longer than they had to be. If I did not make them longer, they would be perfectly fine, how they originally were. But I made them longer because I thought that they should be. So. There. Okay. So. Now. Okay, so the rest of the ladder rack, we're going to be building on the truck. this here is looking right. Now, in another video, I'm going to show you how to make a ladder for this. Because I'm not going to install a ladder on it right now. But in another video, I will. Okay, that's nicely lined up. Okay, so that looks right now, and I'm gonna have to install a bit more. So far our ladder rack is looking right. I turn the trunk back. So far it looks really good. And in here, right here is where we're going to be adding the side toolboxes. And now we need to move on. Did I put my tape? Okay, so now okay. Now, the next side, wow, I used the whole entire strip. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this to the other side, but I just need to cut one strip from this. And like I did there, I'm going to have to fold it over on this side too. Goodness, that was kind of hard. Fold, and fold again. Okay, and now add. Okay, so that looks really good. Kind of looks like an off-road truck now with the ladder rack, because some off-road vehicles have ladder racks. And now, all I really have to add these pieces. Just go straight up. And there. Okay, and now to finish off this section of the video, we have to add these pieces. And then I'll just give a quick snip here. And then the exact same thing on the other side. Also put in another quick little snip. This side too. Okay, there we go. So that finishes off this part of the video. And next, we are moving on to the toolboxes. So that ladder rack looks amazing. I really like that. Alright. So, I installed one of the toolboxes that I had already made on the truck. And it is actually rather simple. So I had to tuck some things away on the ladder rack so that I could easily manage with it. So it has a few locks. Just lift it up, and then in here you can keep all your tools. And then to lock it, you just have to slide this into the slot, which is kind of complicated to do with one hand. But there's 3 of them just so it stays nice and securely locked. And you can keep your tools in it. It's pretty strong. And you might have to tape a bit of it to the top of your ladder rack up here. Like use a tape strip so that it just holds it up. And don't put anything too heavy in there or else it won't work. So we are just going to build it today. So let's get to doing that. So once again, you will need the exact same materials and stuff. Let me lock the rest of it. Kind of hard to lock all 3, but if you want it not to be able to be messed with, it's kind of what you gotta do. And I see something that I messed up on it. There. Okay, so now to build it, you're just gonna need to get a bunch of papers. So I will tape these papers together and then show you how I did it. Okay, so you're just going to want to tape a bunch of papers together like this so that you can easily fold it. So I'm just going to finish taping my papers together. So you're going to need about 6, and you're just going to need to tape them all in unison. You can tape them at different ways depending on how you want it. I tape mine like this, but if you want yours bigger, you can tape it like this. But I just don't need mine that long. So I made mine short, and it's nicely easy to access. And now I have more parts to it that I'm going to bring over. Okay, so we are going to have to fold it nicely so that we can make it into the shape of like a box. There. Okay, so now it's in like a boxy shape. And now, off of that, I might have to fold it one more time to get to the boxy, to get to my box shape Lincoln. There. Okay, now I folded it. Now we just gotta tape everything. Wherever my tape is. Oh, there it is. It's in the back of the truck. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that it is to my liking, we're going to fold it nicely. Okay, so now we gotta get it measured to be the exact same size as this one. And that makes it come down to about here. And now come over here to work with this. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now I have to add a light and a more bright light to see exactly how to work it. And now see how I'm trying to cut this. Should be done very soon. Okay, there. So now I'm going to put the sides on. Okay, over there. Okay, and through here. And around through here. And actually be rather simple. There. Now, I'm just going to have to tape that. And then do that to both sides. Just put your paper on it. You should be able to see an outline through it. Your paper is not too thick. And just cut across how you would cut. So there, that signature part is done. Good, I can see in there to know what I have. Okay, so now exactly what you're going to have to do is just get it, and you're going to have to get it in the exact spot you want, but you're just going to stab a little hole in the exact spot you want. Now don't stab it yet, because you have to see what I'm doing. But you stab it in the exact part you want to cut out the little opening. And if you stab it like in the middle, your opening's not going to work properly. So you want to just nicely cut it out. And there. So then it should open. Now all you need for the lock, I'll cut it out. And it's actually really easy. All you need for the lock is a few things. Okay, so you need strips cut into thirds. This strip cut into thirds, and then this longer strip cut into thirds. Okay, now the longer strip pieces on the toolbox are going to go down on the bottom to lock it. So you're just going to tape it nicely right below the opening in your toolbox. Oops. Size. It's just right below the opening. And final one. Oops. Remember that I have these here. So a toolbox is one of the most simple things you can make, except for the locks. They are not one of the most simple things you can make. So from there, we have the locks taped on like this, 1, 2, 3. You can just do 2 if you want, or 1, but I just want mine to be locked securely. Then, just the part that you need is a piece that just stretches down. First slide it into here before you tape it like this, and then tape it on. So this here is one of the things that I'm using packaging tape for over regular tape. Then you just tape it right on. And final one. So slide it in, tape it on. There we go. Need, and if you want, you can write something on it, but the only thing I'm going to write on it is where's my red Sharpie marker. Well, no, I'm not writing where's my red Sharpie marker on it. I'm just looking for it. There it is. Okay, I'm just going to quick write X-STRUCTION. There, X-STRUCTION. Now it's a little hard to write, so my handwriting might not be the best, but I got it to look as best as I can because I wasn't reading. So, there, X-STRUCTION. Now I'm gonna put all 3 locks together, but first I have a whole toolbox of supplies that my mother gave me from her extra stuff that she doesn't need anymore. So I'm just going to drop some anchors and screws in here, along with a marker for marking things. Now real toolboxes inside them have slots, but I wasn't really able to make slots in it. Look, I got a hole in the side of it. I gotta fix it. Okay, there. Now, so there's your finished toolbox, and you can put in the locks. And now to install it, I'm just going to turn the truck. Okay, so move it a little bit up. Okay, there. Now, let me fix something that I can't get up here. Okay, there. Perfect. Now, tape the toolbox on. It's a little bit more complicated than it looks, but I'm going to need my orange tape to do so. So, okay. Okay, so now these here will tuck into the locks. of that's helped. Okay, so got some of that. So now that we got the toolboxes and the ladder rack complete, we are now going to be able to put on the salt spreader and the plow. So let's start with the spreader. So, ready for winter weather. This spreader is gonna work well. So, I don't know really how to do this easily, but try it. There, that should work. Now the spreader is a little complicated, but when you look at it, it's simply just a strip of cardboard and a cut piece with something in the middle and 2 rubber bands going around it. So it's actually rather simple to make. Now, I use packaging tape to install it. And I install it like right here, right where it can spread. Salt. Fix the door fender here. Alright, so there's your put on salt spreader. So some of the salt from the back, in reality, would just get spread off of it. But I can't make this actually spread because I don't really have anything that will do that. But this would spin, these here would rotate and just throw the salt off the sides. But now, moving on to the plow perspective, which is a little bit more complicated. We will have to turn the front of the truck. So the plow's easy to put on and to remove. Easy to put on and to remove. We're going to remove this black string from the tape that I have, and we're going to let it come out. And now we are going to bring my plow, which is what we're going to be installing over here, the Western Contractors Grade MVP3. Will get installed onto the truck right here. Okay, so okay, there. So now the pieces to make it become in a V-plow's form, we have this string that I've had hanging down. So the string here, the string will get installed. Okay, I'm out of this. Yeah, that could be a problem. Okay, so there, in one spot, And then the exact same thing on the other. Okay, there. Now I'm just gonna get it a little bit more stable on the front, and then I'll show you how we got it to work. So I said in the plow video, we will install it in another future video. And now, if I pull the plow out to here, I will hop in the truck and I will work it. But first, I'm going to need to move the truck over. And that's going to be done differently. And now to work the plow, I need to get it out of the position that it's in and let it stretch. Now, I'm going to climb into the truck, which is a rather comfortable vehicle when you sit in it properly. Okay, there we go. Alright, I got my headrest and everything. Alright, here we go. Ready? Alright, so there I lifted it up completely off the ground. And here it's just a regular V plow. And I don't really have a way to get it not to be in its V formation once I put it in. But I do have a hook here in case that I want to drive around without having it up in V position. So that's what I do a lot if I have the plow attached to my truck. And it is on the hook right now, and it's not, and now it's up off the ground. And I'm gonna attach the hook a little more just to make sure that it's in there. Alright, and now I'm gonna let it go. And now we are on to the ladder part for the truck. So all you need for the ladder is a few rungs, and I have an exceptional amount of rungs, 2 long bars and 5 rungs. So all you're going to do is attach the rungs to the thing right here. There. So just tape them all on. So just keep stacking the rungs up, and then you're going to add the second side soon. Okay, and now just attach that side to the other ladder side. So just put all the just tape all the rungs to it. Alright, there you go. You got a finished ladder. But just don't climb on it because it's not to be climbed on. But now, on the ladder rack, we have a good bit of parts to put on. So I have creations that I've made in the past. So right now, the ladder can go right there. Got a shovel that I've used to shovel salt, and I've got a weed whacker. So all three of those fit on the ladder rack beautifully. And then it just sits on the ladder. The ladder rack, they all go. Now, certain ladder racks will have straps, but I did not think I would have to put straps on mine, so I didn't. But because I'm not driving around. Alright, now if you like this video, you can subscribe, and if you have any comments or anything, please leave them in the comments section below and let me know what you think of my creations. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in another X-Struction video.